GrokTALK.
The Hosmer Geese file is corrupted. I gotta go fix it.
Oh.
But would you expect anything less?
No, I wouldn't. The
Leave
Hosmer
them alone
Geese
and they
file
corrupt.
should be
Absolutely,
corrupted.
without having them online and in the public eye all the time, they do become corrupt.
Yeah. Well, it is nice to be here.
It is. Great venue. Some of the nicest staff. I mean, you say you need some help, and not only do they help,
We have
but
this one. This is an alternative.
I like that.
And Mike is not here today. Actually, he'll be showing up a little later on. This is an extended broadcast, by the way, here from Liberty.
We'll be here
Forum?
as long as we can stand it, I guess.
Yeah, or until we get bored.
Until they kick us out.
Or until,
That's gonna be
exactly,
hard.
And that would probably be the more possible.
Well, yeah, because they said we could stay all day if we wanted.
Yeah,
And I'm like, all right, well,
we're ready to do that.
But thanks
ready
to
to
the
do that.
staff of the hotel for
Oh,
helping
that
get the
staff
sign.
is
Yes,
awesome
actually,
here.
why don't you point the camera so people can see? Steve?
All right, I will. Hang on.
Steve?
You're going to turn me down
Steve,
so I don't make a
Steve,
big
Steve.
mic.
Steve, go ahead.
And they not only
And show the China, too.
not only do they show up and help, but they improvise and they do cool stuff and they do it with a smile.
Yeah, you can photo that in, by the way.
Nice. Question is, can I get
Well,
that
you
in
can
my
tell a
car?
photo. Tell a photo. No. What I'm saying is you can make that telephoto. You can get closer. On the top. Yeah. There we go. There's our banner.
And then there's one outside in the hallway in the foyer
Yes.
next to the hotel registration desk. That's the standard GrokTALK sign, so people know that we're here
Yeah.
and come in and chat.
You may have to go back further. It seems to be that the field of view is small on that camera. Just
Ruh-roh. Watch your coffee.
and if we can't, then just put it on Susan. But Susan will have to turn around.
Nah,
Sit in the other chair, please.
but I'm comfortable. I like
Okay.
No. Back to the wall. Back to the wall. Eyes on the door. You know
Okay.
that's how I sit.
Yeah,
Increasingly so.
that's true.
Increasingly so.
So, but anyways, we're going to be playing around here. We're basically going to do an open mic day today. So anybody
Absolutely.
who wishes to come in and wishes to sit down and talk with us, by
Join
all
us.
means. And unfortunately, I've got the wrong glasses on, so I can't see the name on the tag.
Hi, Derek. How are
Derek.
you?
We have no
Derek
idea.
is a free man. Yes. Indeed. What a great name.
Well, come on up and
Come on up.
put on a headset and talk with us.
We're going to start doing our Twitter thing here and our Facebook thing. And
Oh, yeah.
All those things.
Yes, Mr. Social. Everything that I am not.
excuse me.
There you go.
Well,
Hi,
Derek,
Derek.
can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you well.
And I want to say thanks for stopping by and talking with us at GrokTALK.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, what brought you here to Liberty Forum today, or this weekend?
Well, I wanted to meet other interesting people who love freedom as much as I do.
What is your definition of freedom?
Freedom to me is the ability to do that which I please so long as it doesn't infringe on anyone else's rights.
What a concept.
Yeah.
What a concept.
And
Yeah, but
as-
it is something that needs to be explained to a lot of people,
You're
but not
not
around
kidding.
here.
No,
No.
not around here, but you are right. It's difficult to explain to people because they're used to the rules and the framework and oh my goodness and no, as long as you don't harm people.
Okay, Susan, you have to adjust your mic up a little bit.
I just should talk louder.
That's true. We have a number of Solons that we need to talk to over that tanning bed type of deal.
Good Lord.
We had are you from New Hampshire, Derek?
I am now. I live in Keene,
Oh, cool.
And you came from what?
Philadelphia.
Oh my goodness, bless your heart.
Thank you.
Yes, we just had, I'll look it up in a second, a bill passed by our esteemed Solons, and then they wonder why I can't get on the real radio anymore, that took away parental rights with regards to their children, saying no one under the age of 18 can use a tanning bed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the wrong kind of bill. That's not freedom. That's nanny statism. And we've got all these Republicans who join with the Democrats, including the majority leader, actually the Democrat-appointed majority leader for the Republican Party via the Democrat-appointed Speaker of the House, the majority leader Jack Flanagan, who voted for this trash bill and now is trying to say, oh, they twisted my arms because I'm in leadership. I have to support the committees.
Well, now, what if you put a cot on your back deck Is that not a tanning bed?
Yes, it is.
How do you define tanning bed?
Well, I think they want
And-
tanning beds defined as you plug it into the wall.
Well, what if someone plugs a cot into the wall on their back deck?
I haven't.
That's called a
what if-
substitute for the electric chair.
I haven't. I haven't read the legislation, so I don't really know what specifically it says. But I'm sure it. Well, no, I'm not sure.
I'll tell
I'm
you-
not going to say that I'm
But-
sure
but
that
the
it
good news
defines a
is-
tanning bed.
The good news is you can get an abortion on demand. You can't get a tan because I think if I read correctly, Flanagan said that, well, they have different skin than adults, which apparently is one of the reasons that they, yeah.
It's probably the same thing, except mine's a lot more wrinkled and bubbly.
As is mine, but what sort of moron?
And poor Derek's looking at us going, who are these people?
Well, I'm interested because I just learned recently that in New Hampshire, a young person under the age of 18 is not restricted from possessing a firearm so long as he or she has his parents' permission. And so it strikes me as odd that a young person of age perhaps 15 could walk around with a firearm on his hip, but he wouldn't be able to go to a tanning salon.
You've come to the right person on all things firearms.
You know,
Not
well,
quite right, though.
They can also get married with their parents' permission at the age of 16.
Yes.
I don't know.
And
you can
they
get a
can
driver's license,
also, they can get a driver's license. They can get an abortion.
but they don't need their parents'
They
permission.
don't need their parents' permission.
No, they
But I heard they can't have consensual sex, too. Like, there are different
Well, there are
age
documents
restrictions.
that there's a gentleman out on the seacoast named Robert Whiny, or is it Rennie?
Robert
Cushing. Whiny or Rennie, or both?
Whiny Rennie Cushing.
Whiny Rennie Cushing, who believes that you need some sort of documents that are initialed between the two parties.
Sounds sexy.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Yeah,
That
it's a real
lay
turn
out-
on.
Yeah.
That
Just
lays
sign this.
out what exactly is it that we are going to engage in.
Yeah, I
before
do that
we
every
engage in
time.
it. Yes.
That's
Yes, it's a real buzzkill, isn't it?
Well,
So much for the unwritten contract.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yet it's the Democrats who kept blaming the Republicans, stay out of our bedrooms. Not only have the Democrats gone into the bedrooms and made us all pay for their contraceptives by Obamacare, now they want to get literally into bed with them with a piece of paper.
Well, on February 9th of 2012, I
you sign
actually defined what this should be called because I said if this is your kind of policy, and this was because men don't have any say when it comes to abortion and things like that. So
No, you
I
don't.
said they should fill out a vaginal use liability verification agreement.
I like it. I think that's great. I think we could get
The
that.
vulva will stipulate the following. It's
Okay.
yours. Your decision to treat it like a drive-through is your business and your responsibility. And that despite all precautions, real or implied, pregnancy is a common outcome of intercourse. If the use of said vagina results in an unplanned pregnancy and therefore potential additional unplanned use of the same vagina as a result of that pregnancy, the user of the vagina will in no way be held financially responsible for any decision made by the mother.
By the mother.
This is
You
based
can't
on the
say that.
presumption of the
Can't say mother.
This is based on the presumption of the enforced feminazi code, which states that men have no say whatsoever in whether or not a woman has an abortion because men cannot get pregnant.
Yet.
Yeah, well, that's true.
See, this is another division brought to us by the Democrat Party because, white people cannot be discriminated against, and we can't call it reverse racism because only the majority set of people can be oppressors. And Derek is still sitting there going, "Who
Really?
are these
No,
people?"
he's in the right
We
place.
call ourselves
Back
the
away from the mic.
we
Step
call
away.
ourselves the ADD blogger
No,
bunch.
he's in the
Did you
right
bring
place.
The
He's in the
squirrels?
right place.
Do you have the squirrels?
We don't have, do we? Oh, you brought a squirrel.
I brought the squirrel.
Well,
If you had
that's
brought
cool.
the squirrel and forgotten something else, that would have been bad.
Well, you kept all the important things, I can
That's
tell.
right.
Indeed, indeed.
So, anyways, back to my
You've been in
original
New Hampshire
question.
for how long?
Off and on for about 4 years. I moved in 2011 as part of the Free State Project.
Yes.
I wanted to join the other activists who were deciding not to wait for that 20,000 mark, but just to move, get it over with and start getting active for liberty. I mean, what was I really waiting for? In Philadelphia, nothing's really improving in the realm of liberty.
Now,
Oh, well,
why-
that's not true. The new gun law that just went through for the whole state, where it prohibits the local townships and cities from creating or establishing their own new prohibitive gun laws.
Oh, that would be helpful. Although Philadelphia has been with a certain prohibition of gun laws, I think since the 1700s, on open display of firearms. You need a concealed carry license in order to do that. I was recently denied a concealed carry license here in the shall-issue state of New Hampshire.
Explain to me
It's a bunch
why.
of baloney. Yeah. Well, why, if I was to be completely honest and succinct, it's because the police chief doesn't like me. And they have the power to deny you based on something as simple as that, because in the law it says if a person is unsuitable, then they can be denied. And that's not defined anywhere.
Well, we
so
have
he
an
just
expert
declared
with
I'm
some-
unsuitable.
It was actually, and I'll tell you, when was this denial, please?
This was in July of 2014, so last year. Right now it's
Okay.
before the New Hampshire Supreme Court.
Ooh,
Well, part of,
nice.
are you familiar with Hooksett versus Doyen?
No.
Well, the chief of police in the burg of Hooksett, which is not far from here, was sued by a fellow because he denied his pistol revolver license application on the
Spelling
grounds.
right?
That is correct.
There
That
you
is
go.
Correct.
Thank you.
And if you'll give me your email address, I'll send it to you. Do you have a well? I'm good. We'll
Of course.
talk about that later. But the point is, the fellow, the chief denied the gentleman's license based on an infraction in the state of Massachusetts some time ago, and the plaintiff said that you cannot deny me the license because at the time the pistol and license application had on the reverse side the definition of suitable, which was not prohibited by state or federal law.
Susan,
Yes.
time for a quick break, and then we'll come right back.
We have music to do a break. We do. Hang on. You know what?
What?
We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to go and do this and do
And
this.
we'll be back.
And do this, and we'll be back. And I got to press play. And let's see what happens. Ooh, got to turn that up.
In the morning. The mainly operated, focused, and interested, riveting radio show heard live every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 on 90.7 FM WLMW New Hampshire Family Radio, and available 24/7 live or archived at GerardAtLarge.com. Be sure to tune in.
This is the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is the repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org. This is the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is the repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.
Hi, this is Rich Gerard, host of Gerard at Large in the Morning, the Manchester area's only locally owned, locally operated, focused, and interested, riveting radio show heard live every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 on 90.7 FM WLMW New Hampshire Family Radio, and available 24/7 live or archived at GerardAtLarge.com. Be sure to tune in.
GrokTALK.
It works. Yeah, it works.
So a little background. In 1923, the pistol license statute was enacted.
You can turn up this, though, because
And it was
I don't hear her at all. I can hear her
enacted
talking.
primarily, and I can give you all the citations for that, by the New Hampshire
Okay, that's
Senate.
better.
And the intention was to make sure that only suitable people had licenses. Now, I don't know what sort of history. Education.
1920s, that would mean racism. That would mean suitable people are not black people, right?
Well, these were not, it wasn't even black people so much. If you think about Sacco and Benzetti, these were in New Hampshire primarily, we believe, Irish and Italian immigrants.
Oh, okay.
They were
Anyone different.
unnaturalized but legal immigrants.
Okay.
So the suitability was a pejorative term, but the discretion was to the local law enforcement. Now, over time, the actual pistol revolver license application was issued by the New Hampshire Department of Safety. There's a residence license application and a non-residence application. The residence license application never went through what's called rulemaking authority, so it's just sort of whatever suits them at the time. For many, 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 many years, as far back as I can find it, on the back of the license application, the reference definition of suitable, if you will, was not prohibited by state or federal law.
Okay.
Now, the federal prohibitors are under USC 18923, paragraph G, I believe, or is it 922G? 922 or 923G. Convicted felons, you've given up your citizenship, you're dishonorably discharged veteran, a number of different things. It says if you are one of these people, you are not legally by federal law allowed to possess, purchase or own a firearm. So, on the back of the license application, the default definition, if you will, was not prohibited by state and federal law. The gentleman, Mr. Doyen in Hooksett, was not prohibited by state or federal law as it was laid out. Well, the chief went, oh my goodness. This gentleman sued him, took him to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, well, there is no definition of suitable and you can't rely on this license application. And so, without any public notice whatsoever, the Department of Public Safety changed the pistol and license application. Because it didn't have to go through rulemaking authority, they just kind of went, oh, well, we're going to change it, we're going to add a bunch of questions, we're going to remove that. Because if there was this definition of suitable, the chief might have found himself in trouble. Now, there is no framework definition for who is and is not suitable. It's whatever discretion the local law enforcement chooses. Now, in your case, you did apparently screw up, and you have.
I didn't screw up. I never hurt anybody. I never did anything wrong.
No, you were convicted of a misdemeanor possession of marijuana.
Great.
Now,
and good for me.
Perhaps, but we are either a nation of laws, whether we like them or not, or we are not. Now, I'm not excusing what the chief or whoever that is that denied that did, but in the absence of a clear definition of suitable,
Which
and the
they
clearest
messed
one
with.
we had was that the back of that application, you are at the hands of the local law enforcement. We've been fighting it. We've said the definition of suitable, as it was applied in 1923, was not only racist, but sexist.
Yeah, but that's wrong. My rights shouldn't be given to me by government. My rights are inherent, and they don't come from a police chief. And I think this might have something to do, I think his retirement this year, he just announced this week that he's retiring. I think that might have something to do with the fact that I'm taking him to the Supreme Court.
that has been known to happen around here.
You may want to look at that ruling, young man. I will make sure that you get
I
it.
will.
It's not even a ruling. Is it an opinion? It's a ruling. It's not even an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
And there are degrees of things, but I will send it to you, and you will see what they said. And this happened. This was issued, in fact, in August of last year, maybe. I don't remember. I don't know
okay.
who your attorney is, but there are a number of really extraordinary firearms attorneys in the state of New Hampshire.
Evan Knappen is my attorney.
Okay, excellent. All right. So, Evan will know of this ruling without question, and
He will.
we are compiling the names and contact information on people who have had licenses denied on the grounds that they're unsuitable or whatever else. And our hope is that there's enough people out there that we can make the case that, you know what, it just needs to go away. Now, Senate Bill 116, which passed the Senate, would have made and will make licenses optional.
Right, but the governor's going to veto that, and it's not veto-proof.
It is
That's
not a
true.
veto proof
That's
veto.
very true.
But given that she wants to step up, and she has probably watched what happened to Scott Brown when he got the ire of the gun groups, she may just let it slip into law without doing anything to it.
That would be
signing it.
interesting.
That would be very interesting, and it will be a clear indication to a lot of us that she is indeed going to try to take out Kelly Ayotte.
Well, the real question is whether or not she can just let it become law and not piss off enough people on the left. I don't think the Democrats would abandon her because of that. I mean, they would still want her to beat Ayotte. So there is a possibility. But I think what we'll have to do is to continue to get these names of people who've been denied for no good reason, really. I mean, it's crazy. And then the change to the back of the form, you were all over that last year.
Oh, boy.
It was a huge subject, and they were like, oh, no, we didn't do anything. It's constantly,
Surprise.
It's a constant freaking battle every day.
Well, part of it is for a long time, New Hampshire has been a closed shop in many, many ways. And it's been run by very few people. And when you live in a small state and things are pretty good, you don't question a lot of stuff. But there's a number of people in New Hampshire who've either moved here recently like you or who come from other places like I did. And all of a sudden you look around and you go, how does that, what? And you start looking and you start questioning and you don't get really good answers. So shining that light on things makes people uncomfortable. It makes them nervous. And when your best answer is, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's really not adequate. So we have to stay on them. And,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure the status or progress of your case, but we will watch it very closely, believe me.
Yes. And we would love to have you back on. We normally do this out of the offices of CNHT in Concord. And this is where we get to come in because they all hate us. They really
Who's
do.
they?
The establishment, good
The
old
establishment
boys.
Republicans hate us. The Democrats hate us.
The statists hate us.
The
The progressives hate progressives on both parties. Really, really hate us.
Absolutely.
And they hate us because we're
Let's take
upsetting.
back that term. I like progressive.
Well, progressive is nothing more than incremental socialist.
Yeah, but it could mean something really positive. It sounds nice.
No, let them own it.
Okay.
Let's just
Let
wrap
them
it.
sink in that ship.
Yes,
they
wrap that
stole
around
the
their
term.
necks.
They stole the term liberal, and liberal is far more derogatory than progressive to them.
Yeah.
So
Well, they started off as being progressive. They so trashed
Yeah.
the perception of that. Then
They
they switched
changed to
to
liberal.
liberal.
Yeah.
Then they went to progressive, went back to liberal, and now they're back to progressives again. I just call them socialists.
I think I'm progressive. I think freedom is progressive.
I think you're
It's
right.
radical. If you go back to the original founding fathers, and I'm watching the time real quick here, the notion that we were sovereign citizens, reportable to God, and responsible and accountable by God, and not to a king, was one of the most radical ideas since the Greeks.
Absolutely.
And it changed the world. Unfortunately, progressives are those kinds of people who say, we should be in government because we know better than you. And as Lee Webb, New Hampshire State Representative, Democrat, said, the purpose of the legislator is to legislate behavior.
Right. So they tried to legislate away. They want to legislate away your given from birth right to defend yourself, and you have to go to the freaking Supreme Court to try to get it back.
Well, it's just the way I defend myself. They admit I'm allowed to open carry. I just
Yeah.
can't wear a jacket.
Yeah,
Which
you're
is
right.
stupid.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, do that at 0 degrees at my house this morning.
Oh yeah.
Or my house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been in the trenches for a while on this, and stay in touch with us because
Yeah, we
will
definitely
follow
want to have you
closely.
back when the court
We
comes
know
back
your
with the
attorney.
case.
We know your attorney, and in fact, let me.
Well, thank you.
give
My
you
website
this.
is thederekj.com, so if people want to read about my case, they can read about it at thederekj.com.
Cool. Very nice. Well, with that, I think we have to bring this to a close. Steve, you may play the music. Folks, we're going to be back because we got almost
I
all day.
can't really fade the music in though.
Well, I can. Start in.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Awesome.
It's not playing.
It's playing.
No, there's nothing there.
It's playing.
I don't hear it.
It's coming. It's different when I don't have a slider to manipulate it. See?
Okay.
Remember, this is going to
That's
sound
mine.
really quiet because we're on the field and it's different.
All right,
It's
folks. Well,
different.
we're going to be back in a few minutes. I am Skip. She's Susan. He's Steve. And we want
That's
to say
three
thank
S's.
Yeah. And we want to say thank you to Derek Freeman for stopping by.
GrokTALK.